My thoughts are already known on this. I posted a long form video on this today, but I'll rehash it here. Look, there's no two ways about it, right? That was an embarrassing loss. The way they lost was embarrassing. The score was embarrassing. A lot of parts of that game were embarrassing. I just saw somebody in the chat type in there, Pete, you took the loss well. Well, the reason I took the loss well is because I actually watched the game and just didn't just look at the final score. And there's a lot of things that happened in that game.
I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of hoping that I would get to see freak out.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody that I didn't freak. First of all, I'm not Carolina Jackpot. I'm not gonna come on. I'm not gonna come on the air and get shit faced and yell and throw and break shit.
I suppose
But
so.
I mean, look, man. I read the stats out today. I mean, Clemson outgained them. They had way more offensive plays than they did. They had 11 more first downs than Duke. They dominated the time of possession. All of those. If you didn't see the final score and you looked at the statistics sheet, Clemson dominated every statistic except for the turnovers, and that was really the difference in the game. Listen. I do give credit to Duke. I said it last night. I said it today, and I'll say it again now. Duke was a better team, a better coach team, and had the better quarterback on the field, and a better defense too. So this isn't a woe, pitiful me, Clemson just made too many mistakes statement. Duke won the game, and they should have won the game. They were the better team. But if you get down on the 1 yard line twice, not once, but twice, with a first and goal situation from inside the 5 yard line and walk away with 0 points, there's very few teams in the country that you're going to beat. And Duke is pretty good, right? They're not, I'm not saying they're a top 10, top 15 team. I don't know where they'll finish at the end of the year. But when you have a team that's playing with their hair on fire at home on week 1, and you go out there and make those kind of mistakes, there's very few teams in the country that are going to win that game if you're Clemson. And there's a lot of concerns. Clemson should be concerned. And Clemson fans should be concerned about the wide receiver corps. That's an obvious, glaring issue right now. Clemson should be concerned about their pass protection with the offensive line. There probably should be some concerns as far as their secondary is concerned. But those are all the same sort of issues that we've been seeing over the past couple of years, right? Here's what I don't understand about this, or not about the game in itself. The criticism of the game. As soon as you go on the internet after a loss like that, you start seeing people going, oh, Dabo can't change with the times, the transfer portal, NIL. First of all, Clemson has NIL. They've got 2 NIL collectives. They were the first team in the country to have 2 NIL collectives. They have no problem getting NIL for their players. So I have no idea what the NIL thing is about. And as far as the transfer portal is concerned, the transfer portal doesn't stop you from fumbling the ball twice on the 1 yard line. Okay? Do I think that Dabo should utilize the transfer portal when he's able to fill in some gaps at wide receiver or offensive line or cornerback or whatever? Absolutely, I do. I've been saying that for years. That had nothing to do with last night's game. Absolutely nothing. So, while last night was extremely disappointing, I'm not ready to throw the towel in on either the season or definitely not Cade Klubnik or Garrett Riley. I mean, the stats for Cade Klubnik weren't even that bad if you just look at the stat sheet. And he had 62.8% completion percentage, 200 yards throwing, and I don't know, another 50 yards rushing or something like that. I mean, the guy looked like a deer in headlights. Didn't look like he knew what he was doing. Looked unprepared. All of those things are disturbing and should cause some concern for anybody watching. But let's not pretend like this is some seasoned veteran quarterback, okay? I mean, goddamn, you ready to throw this guy out after one start against Tennessee and one start against Duke at the start of the season? Now, you guys are out of your fucking minds. You're out of your minds. And no, I'm not a sunshine pumper. And for anybody who's been watching me for the past 6 years, I mean, the reason that half of the Clemson fan base that watches me turns me off immediately is because I don't sunshine pump. There's a difference between sunshine pumping and just ready to fire everybody. Some of these fucking idiots are talking about Dabo Swinney needs to move on. They need to move on from him. Man, you guys are retarded. You're fucking retarded. And somebody even typed to me today, I think it was a Georgia fan, comparing Dabo Swinney to Mark Richt. Yeah, nobody wanted Mark Richt to go either because he was loved. Mark Richt didn't come close to sniffing a national championship, let alone two, you dumb fucks. Clemson wouldn't be anything that they are right now if Dabo Swinney didn't build that program. He did not forget how to coach football. Is there some things that he needs to look in the mirror and see? Yeah, but comparing Dabo Swinney to Mark Richt might be the dumbest thing I've ever read on the internet. Week 1 reactions are way, way out of bounds. Florida State right now should be the preemptive favorite to win the conference. I don't know if you heard it somewhere here before. During the offseason, somebody picked Florida State to beat Clemson on week 4 before the season even started. So the fact that Florida State is good is no shocker to me, and the fact that Florida State will be favored going into Death Valley week 4 is no surprise to me. I don't know why nobody's giving credit to Duke at all. It's just all about how terrible Clemson is. No, I haven't seen a single person on the internet over the past almost 24 hours talk about how much of a baller Riley Leonard, the quarterback for Duke, was in that game. Nobody. It's just about how much Dabo sucks and Riley sucks and Klubnik sucks and Clemson's falling off and it's over for them. Over for Clemson. This ain't the first time I've been hearing this, by the way. Over for Clemson is the ceiling for 90% of the football teams in the country. Over for Clemson is winning 10 and 11 games in a season, right? And most of the people that type that shit, their team is lucky to win fucking 8 games a year. So y'all are ready to give up. I'm not. I still think this is a good coaching staff for the most part. I mean, there is definitely some position coaches that I'm not too fond of, particularly the offensive lines coach and the wide receiver coach. But outside of that, this is a coaching staff full of really good coaches and a very good head coach and a bunch of talented players. That's the other thing, too. 247 Sports has Clemson's ranking as far as talent at 5th in the country overall. The highest blue chip rating that Dabo's ever had at Clemson for an entire team, ever. So I don't think
I cannot tell.
I know. So listen, I get it. That is it, but the idea that talent is the issue at Clemson is just false. It's obviously a coaching issue and an offensive philosophy issue. But a lot of those mistakes that were made last night can be fixed. Those are on coaching, and we'll see if they can. I'm not claiming that they are going to fix those things. I'm just saying, after one football game against a pretty good Duke team on week 1, I'm not ready to throw the towel in on the season, and definitely not ready to throw the towel in on the head coach or the quarterback. Not yet. Now, look, if things continue to go the way that they went last night throughout the season, I'll change my tune real quick. I'm just not ready to throw it in yet. You know what I mean? Again, with the portal thing. Coach the portal. I even saw Uncle Lou's Your Season is Over video earlier today, and he goes, yeah, I keep hearing Clemson fans talk about how there was no scholarships available for the portal, which is true. He goes, well, that's a roster management problem. He goes, you need to run some of those other guys off. So his solution to the problem is guys that you recruited and signed and gave scholarships to, let's run them off so that we can sign somebody from a different team. Anybody who thinks that's a solution to a problem for a program, I can't even believe somebody that I consider to be at least somewhat knowledgeable about college football like Uncle Lou would say something like that.
Well,
There's literally there is literally nobody. Let's paint a picture here real quick. Dabo Swinney's he's at 86 scholarships when the portal's open. There's only 85 scholarships available. He's got to get rid of one somehow, right? Which they did by taking one of the players who was on scholarship for football, who also played baseball. They took him off a scholarship on football and gave him a baseball scholarship. That got him down to 85. So he didn't lose a scholarship. He still plays on the football team. He still plays on the baseball team. Imagine if Dabo Swinney did like Deion Sanders did and ran off players that he promised a scholarship to. What would the narrative be the next day, Sea-Dog? Oh, Dabo Swinney doesn't give a shit about his players. All he cares about is winning. He's running off players to bring in transfers. There's not a single healthy football program in the country that runs off players that you recruit and give scholarships to bring in a transfer. None. Kirby Smart wouldn't do that. Would he? Would Kirby Smart do that?
Kirby Smart would
Hell
do
no.
anything and take any shortcut possible.
Well, maybe Kirby Smart would do it. I don't know. Has he done it, though? I guarantee you he hasn't ran off players in order to sign a transfer.
He's done every underhanded thing he could possibly think.
No, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's done that.
Oh, I do.
I don't think he's done that.